only three words unite us with the world around us. Only those three things which are called by these three words are necessary for a person, necessary for each of us. There are things that we will talk about further, and they are the only ones that connect every person with the world around them. These are love, freedom, and abundance. To completely deprive a person of even one of these things means to deprive him of human dignity. Well, please name at least one more thing that none of us can do without, and which is not included in these three comprehensive concepts and understandings. Of course, these three words have their antipodes and antonyms: hatred, slavery, poverty, and many other words, synonyms, and understandings. I would be grateful if you would write the comment what other things there is that we absolutely need and that is not included in these three understandings, without which we cannot exist with dignity. True, there is such a thing. It is religion. It is not included in these three words. We will talk about it sometime, much later. There is not and has not been a single people on earth who would not have their own religion or their own religious ideas. But let's analyze the first three words and their meaning for now. Let's start with the last one. Property is synonymous with wealth and abundance. Often the word wealth is associated with excessive spending or with the huge difference between wealth and a less well-off existence. A person needs many things, but it happens that the material income of some people grows faster than the development of the person himself, his material and spiritual needs. Then such an owner can spend money on completely unnecessary things. All this can happen even with insignificant fortunes of imprudent people. And therefore, we will not make a big difference between these two definitions of wealth and abundance. I like the words abundance more. Abundance and wealth seems to me like some kind of opposites. We have already mentioned that all intelligent communication between people and the world around them goes through only three things. These are love, freedom, and abundance. I cannot give priority to any of these concepts because they are all equally important for every person. For some reason, it so happens that a lot is said about love and freedom, while the importance of abundance, wealth, is not given enough attention. They try to write little about wealth, how to achieve it. After all, it is the provision of abundance that requires the most times in a person's life. If we assume that the three main needs of all people's lives, love, freedom, and abundance, are equal, then the provision of the latter should take no less than a third of all time. In school textbooks, labor and the use of the first tools of labor were given the role that create man and were his first human differences from the biological world. Man is being who has abstract thinking, imagination, various religious ideas, and works. Everyone must work because otherwise it is easy to lose one of the basic characteristics of a person and cease to be one. People need a lot of money, and to get it, you need to work a lot. Where can you find such huge funds? Money is born from work. Money can also arise as a result of cost saving, new technologies, and reforms. In the blog, good will come. Paper money should not become cheaper, but on the contrary, increase in price. I analyzed the way to carry out such reforms. Their essence was as follows. 1. It is necessary to ensure that national money enters international circulation. 2. It is necessary to eliminate the deep gap between the rich and the poor without violence and confiscation. 3. A gigantic reserves that been found where there are colossal billions of monies that are now going to crime and corruption and which could be used to raise children, build housing, as capital for a start-up business, recultivate land for existence. Working money creates jobs. Over time, every job requires more and more material and financial support. There is a significant financial threshold for starting a business, which is quite difficult to overcome on your own. Therefore, the only way to jump over the initial business threshold is to take out a loan with moderate interest rates. In the blog, A New System of 7 Sentences, I highlighted the path of implementing reforms in the law enforcement system, which will also have a huge economic effect. The sources of such funds could be the following reforms. Prison should be abolished in the sense that the state should not spend money on their creation. Criminals should provide themselves with the means of existence on their own. Free people began a special activity on earth. People built tunnels, buildings, conducted reclamation, beautiful reservoirs appeared instead of swamps. Fundamental and applied sciences developed. Look how some people have transformed their land, developed ecology, clean air and rivers, beautiful architecture, high-quality roads, economical energetics, comfortable and habitable cities, waste disposal and sorting are very perfect. All this requires huge funds which turning into property provide for human needs. Some property is used immediately, some for a long time. This requires savings. We should be grateful to the people who have invested their savings in the things and benefits that we use. All citizens in the state should have the right to receive privately a certain minimum separate plot of land if they do not use similar plots that are in their common use. If they do not have it, the state should provide everyone with such a plot free of charge. Abundance is created by free labor. Abundance is labor. It requires a lot of time, skillful hands, a cold mind, and close attention, but its results are given as a reward for the task completed. The free market and a free economy with reasonable taxes are a great assets to humanity. Very low taxes increase the wealth gap between certain categories of people and social antagonism, while high taxes slow down the pace of economic development and increase corruption. Pay your fair taxes and try to help those who want to rise. The money spent on this will be returned. The large gap in the wealth of individual citizens depends not only on the extraordinary abilities of individuals, but also on the natural and other monopolization of some aspect of the market, which must be combated. There must be harmony between abundance, love and will, which is corrected by work and sacrifice. Abundance is not ours until it comes. Therefore, work and determine the measure of labor, and the reward will be, you will receive it. Thank you for your attention.